All right, the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq 100. We're jumping into the Nasdaq first. We'll go into Qs and SPY here in a second. But as you can see, we came down towards our demand level down here. You ended up breaking past the 1837 early this morning as well. You go to something like the 1 hour chart, you can really see you break down below. And at the end of the day, you end up bouncing back up. And we'll talk about this in a second. But we see that nice drop here early on throughout the day from basically 8 into noon. Just nothing but selling steps in. You go into something like S&P futures. Again, sitting right in our clean cut range, coming into target number 152.13, bouncing back over 52.57, then back ultimately into 5,300. This is probably the most impressive thing here, the fact that ES moved 100 points just throughout the day. That's honestly incredible and a great sight overall of what you want to see. Now, what I will say is before I jump into anything else is that you really want to focus on what's happening with tech, in my opinion. Now, it's good to see that Dow's bouncing back as well. Like Dow actually had a phenomenal day. Just kind of bottomed early in the week, Tuesday into Wednesday, clear bottom through Thursday, and then today had a nice push up, money rotating back into the Dow. And then you saw also ES get a lot of love as well. Now, as you can see, NQ is trying to get back into this, but where I think NQ needs to get before we get too aggressive or, we start calling for, full bull, whatever it may be, is get back above this key level right here, 18,707. That's your major level. Now that level goes back as well in the daily, back to your previous all-time high back here in March. So that is kind of what I'm watching. We saw once we gave up that level and rejected and flipped it for basically 6 hours, seller stepped in immediately, right? And so again, that's where we're at and that's how we're moving. Now overall, I will also say, people say, Tyler, are you bearish, you this, you that? You're still putting in higher lows. The daily chart here is not bad. It's actually a great daily chart. So those are things to be considering. So you're on your way for a decent bounce so far. Not terrible, not the worst thing ever. I also posted this as well on Twitter. So the link is down below if you're interested. But I was letting you guys know when you were dipping, that's where you couldn't really get too bearish, especially down there, because you were coming into that demand and that support. So it was a major thing that you had to be watching as well. Okay. But again, good balance here into the end of the day. We had PCE inflation as well come out on the day. Let me actually put it in investing.com. It wasn't really anything bad. Everything came out basically at expectations. So for me, I wasn't like shocked. I wasn't surprised. It was just like, it is what it is. The market didn't love it, but ultimately bounced back. The other thing to look at there when it goes to PCE is I'm always looking at things like the dollar and what's happening with yields. And when I look at the DXY continues to sell off, right? Even despite the market pulling back today, the dollar pulled back for a better part of the day back into the 200 SMA. Again, if the dollar loses the 200 SMA, I get pretty bullish on the market. So again, I am watching this level here. The 200 daily moving average, that is it. And that's what you're watching right there. We go into yields and what's happening there. Again, another big sign of things you should be paying attention to. Yields, the 30-year yield, right? On the daily, again, just falling off the past 2 days. You had GDP and then you had PC today falling off. And again, I do expect yields to follow the dollar. So you want to see yields get back below the 200 SMA and then hopefully back below our key level of 4.426. Big things to look at there as well. The last thing here before we go into equities and other viewpoints here is, again, looking at what's happening with oil. Continued weakness. We talked about oil and the major pinch, the 200 daily, 200 weekly. You haven't broke below the 200 weekly or held below the 200 weekly since 2020. You've bounced off of it continuously over the past year and a half, 2 years. So again, as we come into this, a very big level to watch. If we break below this, very, very bearish on oil, which would be very good for inflation data overall. But first, let's go into this.
Okay, so this is probably not the first time that you've seen me talk a lot about the sponsor of today's video, Moomoo, but I haven't told you about why I decided to partner with them, and I just want to be transparent with what's happening there and why they're going to be a partner for the foreseeable future. So partnering with Moomoo for me has been a little bit of a game changer in what we're doing with the channel, because we like to do a lot of free content, but ultimately what we're doing with them is unlike any other trading platform. Moomoo has a super robust and user-friendly mobile platform when it comes to news, when it comes to options, their watch list, everything like that. The mobile and desktop allows me to effortlessly look through and analyze everything that I'm looking at. It's all kind of in one place, especially before executing anything. And speaking of executing, Moomoo is offering a zero contract fee for options and only charges 50 cents when you're trading index options. So very important to know that as well. Unlike other platforms which have a similar offer, Moomoo provides me with deep analysis and unusual options activities. So instead of using other platforms, I can kind of do most of my work in one platform just like this. And this is the desktop platform, just so you can see, where I can look at unusual activity as well. If you are interested, there's never been a better time because right now new users will get a 1.5% cash reward up to $300, or if you're just getting started, you'll get 7 free fractional shares up to $5 per if you make a qualified deposit bonus. Just go to moomoo.com. It shows you all of this. It's right there in front of you, so you can make sure you have all that understand. They want to help you kickstart your journey when it comes to investing. Check them out. The link is down below.
All right, guys. So I'm also doing like something different on the channel. So if you guys like it, please let me know in the comments just so I know. I want to focus on things you guys like on the channel. So I've been going over more options and stuff, and I'll come back to this here in a second to give you better examples of trades I like and things along those lines. But let me know. And that's the cool thing about doing this partnership with Moomoo is I'm just allowed to do some of these other things, and we're allowed to have certain events and specialties and things like that go on. So if you like it, let me know. Anyways, so going back here, we're going to go over SPY, and then we'll go into equities over the weekend into next week. And again, SPY, I mean, honestly, like, again, like this is pretty fantastic. 524, go to the daily. I mean, what a candle. I mean, honest to God, you reject under it yesterday, pretty gross, but you battle back, you hold above. I mean, phenomenal candle. I mean, it doesn't get better. Again, if you're watching our key levels we have marked, I don't know what else to say. They're there for you for free every single day. You can take a screenshot of all this. 518.24 to the tick. Okay. But I also do want to say one more thing before we go any further and I forget. We'll have spots available in Discord tomorrow, the first of the month. I think we're going to do 20 to 30 spots. So first come, first serve. The price did go up to $100. I'm just letting you know. There's not a lot of people canceling. So I think we're going to have less spots available, but price is up, just to let you know. Also, to the newsletter, the link, this is totally free for you guys, but this is what it looks like every week, and it comes out on Sunday morning around 10 a.m. Central. But again, we go over futures. This is all free. You use this throughout the week. Top stocks we're watching, top patterns, everything like that, earnings, etc. So again, free stuff. Take it as you will. So again, all you want to see on SPY is holding above 524.6. Above that, you are bullish going into Qs. Qs, you got back above 449.4. Again, bullish in my opinion. Previous high that you had here. So again, overall, in my opinion, you're not going to like, the bears won't like this, but it looks like a bear trap. That's what it looks like here on the day. And when we look at the volume, I think it's very telling as well. Because again, let's go look at average volume that comes in here, right? Volume, volume by range right here. Average volume. So again, where we are slightly down on overall volume, don't get me wrong, but when we go to Yahoo Finance, because I want to be transparent with that part of this, right? We go to Yahoo Finance, you're at 84 million. Over the past 2 or 3 weeks, 46, 36, 37, 59 has been our high. Very low volume. On the average volume, the lowest day has been typically Monday over the past year, and that's around $62 to $63 million. The high is usually on Fridays around 86. Well, you got back at almost to that normalcy that we've seen around 86, and it would have been a telling sign if we would have maintained a bearish view here below our key levels. It would have been really bearish in my opinion. But the fact that we bounced back through this signals to me a major warning sign out there for the markets. Okay. Now, on top of that, guys, we don't have this coming week a lot of data. I'm going to tell you that right now. It's jobless claims. That's basically it. You're going to see some PMI. But again, the big thing here, job openings, and then you have non-farm payroll. Okay. That's your biggest thing on the week. There's not a lot of inflation reports. That'll be in the coming week, I believe. The Fed balance sheet will be bullish. So it's mainly employment data, okay? But I am telling you right now, there's always some fundamental things I look at in the market, and when they give us these signals, they're signals that you have to pay attention to, because if you looked at the past year, they've made us a lot of money. And I believe oil is one of the biggest things giving us the major sign right now, especially on inflation. We talked about inflation readings and reports going into the end of the year and how there's a lot of expectation for them to start dropping off significantly closer to the end of the year. I am telling you right now, if we maintain even near the 200 SMA here on the weekly, the orange line right here, near $75, $76 a barrel, I am telling you right now, you are incredibly bullish going into all these inflation reports. Cost of fuel will directly affect shipments and productivity there in supply chain. That will be extremely bullish. Okay. So keep this on your radar, because it's probably one of the biggest signals that we're going to get. And you can guarantee that I'll be tracking this over the next few weeks. And every single day here on the channel as well. So make sure you're paying attention to that. Now, You came in for equities. What do we like? And now, a few things, guys. I actually want to start off with a few value plays I've been mentioning. I actually bought some Lulu today as well. So Lululemon has earnings this week. I'll post this on Twitter as well. I'm actually reposting this right now. So I'm actually posting this live on the video, and might not be the best time to post it, but it is what it is. Anyways, Lululemon reports Wednesday. That's going to be huge in my opinion. HPE, another stock to be looking for. CrowdStrike, cloud names have been getting destroyed, so I just watched that just for the fact that other cloud names have been dying. The biggest thing I'm watching here again, guys, is Lululemon. I'm just excited about it. I love it. I think it's beat up. I've been telling you guys all about it as well. I think it's a value play. I love it. I just do. You go to the weekly chart again, massive support going all the way back to 2020, pre-COVID. So again, huge fan here. Biggest, I think it's massive value opportunity. So again, keep it on your watch list and your chart. Number 2, Ulta. I grabbed a little bit of this stock, but I grabbed it near the end of the day. And I love it. I love what's happening here. And again, you guys are like, Tyler, what are you talking about? We usually talk about options, this and that. I'm going to go into options. Don't hear me out. But again, I want to talk about some value plays out there right now. Ulta on the daily, massive gap up, like 421, drops all the way back down. Great daily hold above the 200 weekly SMA. Guys, if you've been here on the channel, then you know I'm obsessed. I love the 200 SMAs because they give us great entry opportunities on longer term names and opportunities. Again, Ulta has not been below the 200 or had a retest of the 200 SMA since 2020 in December. Okay, you broke or retested and you went crazy. Now, I'm not saying you're going to go crazy here. I'm not going to say that just yet. But if you break and you can hold above basically 395, 394, I think Ulta has real room back into 440. Giving you a little bit of an idea with some of their competitors, like Elf, someone similar in the industry there, right? Holding its key level, holding up very strong as well. Nowhere near its lows or anything like that. Very close to all-time highs still. So again, I love these names, especially as the Dow and ES bounce as well. So I got to point out some of those value plays. And you're going to notice that this is a lot more value names I'm mentioning today. ARM. ARM is a beast as well. Key level is about 115.5. You are here on the, I just deleted that, but go to the 4 hour. I love what's happening here. Bull flagging above 115. You've had a touch. You're trying to push back up. I do believe ARM has room in about the key level here on Lux Algo back into 130. And guys, also too, if you're interested in our Lux Algo indicators, the link is down below, code OD40 with the Lux Algo link. But again, we get back above 121. It can break these local lows about right here. I think you're really, really bullish. So again, you want to see the breakout of the bull flag here on the 4 hour and the daily. Breakout, test, and then pushing back into 130. I think this thing can run as well. Again, this leads me back into something like semiconductors, okay? I still think semiconductors look really good. All you wanted to see here too on the week was holding above your previous high right there, 239. Great hold at 240, still like it. NVIDIA pulled back as well. I love it. I still love NVIDIA. I still think it's a great opportunity. I think this should get you more excited, especially with the split ahead of us. But yeah, still love it. Still love where we're at. AMD ended up bouncing back above 164.5, ended up pushing into 167. If an AMD can get back above 168.5, it's a buy. It's an opportunity. It still looks good. The biggest thing I want you guys to really stick with here, and I want you to pay very close attention to here, the most important thing, right, is that Nasdaq basically dropped 1,000 points, about around 800. Okay, over the past since this week. So Monday back here, Monday at 1 a.m. before market opened, right? This was Memorial Day, whatever the holiday was, right? You dropped 736 points. You dropped. I'm really thinking about that. To where we are right now, you dropped even here. You dropped 400 points. Yet, a lot of these tech names are just sitting at highs, right? Microsoft would have bounced back near the end of the day. I mean, go on a laundry list of names here, right? That is what should get you excited that the market is showing so much resilience. Apple's a huge play this week, getting back over 193. So let's go into some options really quick, and I'll let you out of here, okay? So Apple's probably one of my top plays going this week. WWDC, their big event this week. And I'm going to tell you right now, all Apple needs to do is hammer home AI. That's all. If they just talk about AI in the iPhone, they're winners. They're pushing it to 200. I think right now, June contracts are dirt cheap. 195s are like $3. That's a steal. If you want to get more time, go towards the July 19th. Also, in my opinion, good. 200s are around $3. I like the 195s, maybe even at the monies, but that's what I would do there as well. Very cheap contracts, a steal. Again, I mentioned Lulu earlier. If I'm looking at Lulu or Ulta, right, like those, I like some more time on those contracts, or I'm just buying stock. That's why I bought some stock on Lulu today. What I would do, 2025s, maybe even 2026, if you just don't want to have the stress. And instead of buying, 100 shares, just buy, an in the money contract for 2026. You're going to pay way less. You're still going to make good money on that contract. 320 at the money, right? You'll still make good money on this. So again, what I would be looking at, how I would be trading, is how I would be watching these equities right now as well. I still think Ulta, again, you don't have earnings happening like right now, so Ulta is going to give you a little bit more wiggle room as well, and you don't have to stress too much about IV changing on you. I like early in the year. I like at the money's near 400. I still think that's a huge opportunity, and I really think these things could start moving quickly as well. So I'm going to say that really quick. Again, people get deterred when they hear a more expensive contract. Well, guys, you can still make a lot of money on those. It's like you're not looking to make 100% though on a $4,000 contract. You're happy making 20% because you still made around $1,000 on it, right? Rather than trading 5 penny contracts that went to zero automatically. So again, that's the point here. That's what you're trying to focus on. A few of the other names I've liked, I'm really trying to hit home here on the names I'm liking and bigger opportunities, especially on these dips. ARM, again, I think it's just massive value, broad base. These are a little bit more expensive. I'm going to tell you that on ARM. I'm not a huge fan of these contracts. They move kind of weird. I think shares make more sense on something like ARM, personal opinion. But again, Apple's probably my top name stock-wise out there right now. I think there's a high possibility this thing could start running towards 200 this week. The chart looks incredible. It's probably one of the best looking charts on tech right now. Keep your head on a swivel. Keep Apple at the top of your list. I'm an absolute fan. I'm happy with this market close. I'm happy. I'll see you guys on Monday. Have a good one, traders.